So today we're making homemade biscuits, and I think that a big problem that people have when they try to make big fluffy biscuits and they're not big and fluffy is that they over mix them, and so the butter or the shortening get like too mixed in because you want it to be in like little pea-sized chunks, or it's too dry, you add too much flour, you want it to be a really wet dough. Also, you want it to be a really clean cut. You want the sides to be cut really well. If you use something, a lot of people use a glass, but every time I use a glass, it kind of mushes the sides down and then they don't rise as high as they could. So I use a legit biscuit cutter. And I got my handy dandy helper here, Benjamin Brasher, helping me make these biscuits. Here you can see Benjamin is cutting the shortening into the flour with a pastry cutter. Yes, very good. And you don't want to do it too much. You want it to be pea-sized chunks. Alright, we're done cutting the shortening into the biscuit, the flour and baking powder and sugar mixture, and you can see it's crumbly. So I'm going to pour my milk in and just mix it barely until it's just barely blended together. See, it's pretty chunky and sticky. I'm gonna flour my surface.
By the way, this is JP's Big Daddy Biscuit.
That's right. We use JP's Big Daddy Biscuits from allrecipes.com. So if you can point it right here, I'm dumping it on here. And it is really sticky and really wet. And you do like this. And I'm gonna just liberally do flour on it, but you don't want to do too much. If you do too much, that's not good. And I'm going to knead it 15 to 20 times. Okay, so one knead is 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do that 15 to 20 times. Okay. Then you, after you're done kneading your biscuits 15 to 20 times, you want to roll them and leave them pretty thick.
You don't want them to be too thin. A little sticky. I'm sprinkle just a little bit of flour on it to keep it from sticking to the roll. Okay, there, you got it.
That's about an inch thick, I guess. You want to leave them really thick. You're going to use a biscuit cutter and cut it as clean as you can so that the sides, you see that the sides are still wet looking. And you're going to cut as many as you can out of this one big blob. And then you could knead it back together a couple more times and cut more out of the rest. So before you put them in the oven, you want to just slightly dust off the excess flour off the top of them. Alright, the biscuits are done. As you can see, they rose a lot. They're very tall. And so the last thing to do is to brush them with some melted butter. Salted butter. And you can see, okay, so these are the ones I cut first, and then I had to knead the dough a little bit and cut the last ones, and so that's what these are, these little guys. Because you can see they just didn't rise quite as high because I messed with the dough too much. But they turned out absolutely wonderful. Huge biscuit.